I'm gonna punch my fish in the face. No, seriously. Punch him in his slimy, fishy face.
You will not be able to stay home, brother.
First of all, fish games for everyone. You can believe that.
You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out.
You got questions? I got answers.
The first revolution is when you change your mind about how you look at things.
None of this stuff is really all that hard.
And see, there may be another way to look at it that you have not been shown.
You just haven't heard it like I worded yet.
The revolution will put you in the driver's seat.
But you gotta subscribe to be live.
The revolution will not be televised, not be televised. There be no rerun, brothers and sisters. The revolution will be live.
I know what y'all thinking, but I have a thought. Keeping fish is all about peace, love, and harmony, rainbows, cotton candy, and unicorns, right? But let's be honest. Sometimes we would talk about fish aggression. I'm going to show you a fish that I tried to be nice to. I tried to be nice. I tried to save this fish's life, but no, it wants to be ungrateful and kill other fish. I saved its life, and it murdered other fish. Oh man! Was it you? Who did it? I bet it was you. Why you gotta cut your tail for, huh? You? No? Who did it? Speak up! Snitches! I need snitches right about now! Why you look guilty back there hiding in the bushes? Was it you? It was, wasn't it? Everybody gonna get something. If nobody come forward, everybody gonna get punished. I bet $100 it was you. Or was it you, Rubber Soda? Huh? I know it won't you. You just too soft. But you? Yeah, you seem suspect to me. Yellow fire mouth? Rainbow? Somebody speak up. I want names! You know what? Look at me. Look at me. You look guilty as hell. Originally, I thought to myself, the culprit definitely had to be this female Vieja Melanora. All right, real quick. This video actually went over the course of 2 weeks. I had to take a break for the holiday season, but during the holiday season, I had some different phenomenons happen. So I wanted to give you everything. So I held off on the video for a little while longer so that I can, you know, assess the situation. There are some other reasons why there might be aggression in your aquarium. And at the end of the video, I'm gonna go over some of the other ones if that's what you came here for, because I want to be thorough with you guys and really help you out. So at the end of the video, I'm gonna go ahead and give you some other reasons and solutions on how to handle cichlid aggression. But the reason why I believed it was her was because I put her in there, let's say 2 months ago. She was actually in the aquarium, my 56 aquarium, with my Cribbo Rarest Businga. I recently did a video on how vicious this fish was, and they were fine in that aquarium for about 2 or 3. No, actually, I think it was even more than that. They were there for a couple months, and out of nowhere, the fish, the Cribbo Rarest Businga, started lip locking with this female Melanora. Now, they're comparable in size, so there was no real damage, but I really wanted to protect this Cribbo Rarest Businga because it is so rare and new to the hobby. So I removed her and I put her in the rare Central American cichlid tank with the others. And again, she was fine in there for about 2 months. Then I find my Jack Dempsey. It is basically a cross between a pink Jack Dempsey and a leucistic. It was a very, very rare mix. I don't think I'll ever be able to get this mix again. It was a total freak of nature. Hopefully I'm going to be on the lookout. But this is why I was so irritated, is because honestly the chances are I'll never be able to get this exact mix of Jack Dempsey ever again. All the other fish I can get with a little bit of time, effort, and maybe some money, but this Jack Dempsey was a very, very rare find. It's my fault. Yeah, I agree 100%. It's my fault. If I cared about this fish as much as I'm saying I did, I would have put it in its own aquarium, and I should have, and I meant to. But what's the word? When you mean to do something but you always put it off. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. But anyway, I didn't. So it's totally my fault. A couple months go by, these guys are fine. 2 months go by, something like that, and all of a sudden, the Jack Dempsey comes up dead. Now I know the Jack Dempsey was killed and not just died of natural causes, because you can tell when a fish has been beat up. Now sometimes a fish will die and after its death fish will gnaw on it, but this wasn't the case. In fact, this fish was super healthy, and it actually was one of the more feistier fish in the tank. And then overnight it was killed. So I figured, what's the difference? What changed? The only thing that changed was this female Melanora. So that's why I figured it was her, which kind of pissed me off, to be honest with you, because I saved its life from being with the Krill Harris, so I put it in there so that it wouldn't be killed, and it ends up killing another super rare, expensive fish. So yeah, that's totally on me. Anyway, as I'm doing video footage of this, I noticed something that I don't know why I didn't notice it before, but I noticed that my yellow firemouth was acting crazy aggressive to every fish. I noticed that all the other fish were on one side of the tank, and I noticed the female Melanora was not acting like the other scared fish. This firemouth seemed to always have its gills flared out, which is a super sign of aggression. Like, you see that? Yeah, something's going on. And he'd never mess with the female Melanora. In fact, I seen that anytime a fish would get next to the female Melanora, he would get super aggressive also. She also did some chasing and all that, but she wasn't doing much attacking. She was just doing a little get away from me, get away from me. I changed my opinion as to who did the killing. The killer, in my opinion, is the yellow firemouth. I think Central American cichlids are notorious for hybridizing. And I think that this yellow firemouth is being super aggressive to all the other fish because it wants to mate with the female Melanora. They both are mating size for their species. And I have to remove my yellow firemouth, which kind of irritates me. In fact, I've been meaning to I have another yellow firemouth. I have another Cribble Harris Alfari. I have one in this tank, and I have another one that's in a separate tank, and I have another Cribble Harris Robertsoni. And I've always meant to eventually put them back in there, but I never got a chance to. So now I have a dilemma, right? Because they just recently really beat up the Cribble Harris Robertsoni. That's why I didn't do the video right away. That's why there's like a week and a half, 2 week separation from the beginning of this video and this video, because I noticed more things going on, and I wanted to give you my true, real interpretation, not just, you know, what I saw right then and there. I wanted to give you and things started happening, so I had to hold off so I could give you my opinion. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to remove the yellow firemouth, because I think without the yellow firemouth, the female Melanora will chill. Okay. I think I'm gonna remove. Oh yeah, by the way, I just recently realized, even without the Robertsoni that it recently decided to pick on, it changed its focus from the Robertsoni, because it wasn't there anymore, to my rainbow cichlid, which, to be honest with you, rainbow cichlids are kind of common. I just have it in there because I really like the colors of rainbow cichlid. At any rate, once I remove the yellow firemouth, I'm also going to rescape the tank, and I'm going to introduce the original Robertsoni that got beat up. He's starting to heal up fine. I'm going to introduce the other Robertsoni that I had set aside. I'm going to introduce the other smaller firemouth, and I'm going to introduce the other Cribble Harris Alfari. And this Nino little firemouth is going to get put in a tank by itself for right now. I don't know, maybe later on I'll rescape again and try and introduce him again. I don't know yet. Now I have to worry about seeing if this female Vieja is going to do anything without her, I guess, mate. I think she'll calm down, and then we're going to go from there. Listen, it's not easy with these Central American cichlids when it comes to aggression. Honestly, I've realized that that these fish really should be maybe like a solo fish tank, or at least a solo species tank, because they will change aggression from month to month. You know, at one point they could be fine, but once they hit that, the best way I can say it is the puberty age, you know what I mean, when they start coming in to adulthood, they change up how they act towards other fish. So, okay, Firemouth, I think it's time we have a talk. you're getting to that age where your body's gonna be changing, right? You're gonna start feeling differently towards the opposite sex. You're gonna start smelling funny, growing hair in weird places. That keeps you on your toes. That's one of the things I really like about him is, you know, things are always happening, and it's a very interesting tank. I really love, one of the best things I love about this hobby is checking out their individual behavior. So I'm really stoked that they're doing different stuff. I just wish they wouldn't be so, you know, like some other aggressive fish will just assert their dominance and then back off when everybody knows. But not these guys. These guys, once they decide they don't like a fish, it's pretty much till death. So that's what I'm gonna do. Stay tuned, because I gotta do another video of me actually doing the removing the fish and rescaping and everything. So you might want to you know, stay tuned for that. Hit the sub button and notification bell so that you can check out to see the progress of what's going on with these fish. All right, pretty much I'm guessing that you're probably going through some of the stuff I'm going through with aggression involving the opposite sex, in which case this is your options. Remove the male or female, or remove the fish that the male and female consider a threat. To be honest with you, all that's going to do is shift the attention from the threat fish to a different fish. So removing the male and female, regardless if it's a situation where it's two different species or the same species, would be the way to go. Another reason why you might be coming across aggression in your fish is you just have a mean fish. A lot of times you can get away with possibly rearranging the tank so that the fish doesn't feel as territorial, because it feels like it's in a different location. So it's not so, see, when a fish calls its place its home, that's where the territorial issue comes in. So if you change up the way the tank looks, it feels like it's in a different home. To be honest with you, if it's that mean, it's probably just gonna claim that territory too after a while. Now, I've heard of people putting their fish in timeout. That's when they actually take the fish, put it into a different aquarium for a couple of weeks, a month, whatever, and then introducing it back into it to reprogram its aggression. In Central American cichlids, I cannot say that I've found that to work. If fish is mean, when you remove it and put it back in, it's just going to be still mean. Other fish it might work, but the Central American cichlids, not so much. Food, they could be fighting over food. That can be a source of aggression. So you might be able to get away with feeding them at night, or feeding them, if it's two different type of fish that like to eat at different levels, feed them different foods. One is a floating food and one is sinking food. The floating food, the more aggressive fish will probably go to because it's easier to get, and the sinking food, the other fish might go to it. At the end of the day, when it comes to Central American cichlids, the sad part is, in my personal opinion, in my experience so far, is removal of the fish. I don't see these guys being reprogrammed to be nicer. That's one of the reasons why I'm attracted to these fish. You got a lot of stuff that you have to take into consideration, a lot of stuff to learn, a lot of different personalities that pop up and change over time. And sometimes there's nothing you can do except for put them in another tank or gift them away to someone who is better suited for that particular fish. I wish I could give you a better answer. I wish there's something that can be done to make them not as aggressive, but that's one of the reasons for their popularity. People like that aggression, that toughness of them, and unfortunately, if you're going through that, you have very few options. So if you really like the fish, put another tank, because I would hate for you to go through what I go through or just went through with this very rare fish dying, and that's totally on me. It's procrastination on my part. I knew I should have did it. I had every intention to do it, but life just made me, you know, because trying to catch the fish, you got to empty the water, it's a pain in the butt. But I should have did it, and I'm paying the price for it. So don't be me.